Welcome to part 22 of the Edwardartsupplyhands series. This part is titled The Dreamer. A full link to the written post will be in the description below, as well as Edward's channel. Check it out for some great content. And if you like content like this, like and subscribe for more. Part 22, The Dreamer. We start with a quote by Neville. "But man is afraid. He dare not abandon himself to a dream, and so never dies." This, to me, if understood, will free you entirely. Man truly is afraid of his dreams. Man desires to hold on to his limitations, thinking they are his safety. His beliefs on who he is the ultimate false god in his life. He thinks the limitations and restrictions he holds of himself keep him alert, cautious, and safe. Fear becomes his home, and it becomes his family. Worry becomes his father. Shame becomes his mother. And ambivalence becomes his character. He stares outside his house, wishing to leave his home of fear. But the thought of leaving terrifies him as well. Abandoning the home and the family, turning his back on it, sparks terror in himself. He cannot see, he cannot hear his dreams. They all become a fantasy, a lie. Fear is mixed in all decision-making, thus making it feel impossible to escape. How can man let go of this fear? Man can only let go of this fear when he accepts he is not man. In order for man, his outer man, to become free from all the fear, he must accept he is the dreamer, the creator of his life, the inner man. He created the fear, the house, his family. The outer man thinks he must work his way out of fear. He thinks if he just fights back to his parents of worry and shame, then he will overcome his fear. He thinks if he just accomplishes something in the physical reality, then all his fear will subside. Never seeing that he is the creator, the cause, he always fails. The idea that he does not have to do anything, he does not have to work his way out of it, and that in fact it is impossible for man to do anything, this idea is lunacy to the outer man. He thinks, no, there must be a way, I just have not figured it out yet. Yet he himself is a desiring self and only sees his reflection. He only sees his desire, never obtaining them, always seeking them. Frustration, rage, jealousy, and the deadliest sins of all stir up within him. Hating his world, hating what he sees, hating his own reflection, he wants to destroy it. He cannot win because he lives in a position of fear and failure. And what is within will always be without, because man can only give himself what is within himself. If only he were to stop hating his reflection and saw that the mirror only reflects what he is doing, he would be free. If he were to see the mirror is stationary and does not judge but simply reflects. If only he were able to see himself in the mirror and see he is the creator, he would be free. If I cannot do anything, then how do I change? Man asks. The answer is death. Death is the only way for the dreamer to change his dream world. The fear of death is the most terrifying thing to man. Man thinks he cannot rise if he dies. But if he saw himself as a dreamer, the creator, then he would see he is the creator of death itself. The dreamer cannot die. Even with this knowledge, man is still afraid to die to his present limitations. The thought of yielding to what is only a dream is death, and death is frightening. Man cannot ask, what if it doesn't work? What if I'm being crazy? What if I fail? These cannot be asked. Man must fully give up all questions, all limitations, all shame, all the reasons why he cannot be what he desires or have what he desires. He has to give up why he thinks he is unworthy or how difficult it would be to become what he wants. All feelings of fear and feelings contrary to his dream must be surrendered. Life as he knows in his current reality must cease to be. But this is all frightening for man to do. Man will never be free unless he knows how to die mentally. Unless he learns how to abandon himself entirely, he remains as he is. How can man yield if yielding requires death, and death is too frightening for him? To do this, man identifies himself as the dreamer of his life. This entire experience he has had is his dream. Knowing that he is the creator, the dreamer that can give himself anything he wants. The dreamer of this lucid dream of life is the ultimate state man can assume he is. So while man desires to be something, he must die, but the dreamer cannot die. The dreamer has the power of resurrection. Having this acceptance that he is the creator, he then can effortlessly die to what his is only current reflection. If something befalls man that he dislikes, he thinks he cannot die to it and resurrect something new in his dream immediately. If someone says something to him that he dislikes, he holds on to it, judging his reflection and becoming violent, wishing he could have told them off. He goes on murmuring under his breath all the things he wished he could have said to so-and-so. Imagining away arguments, fights, shame, and violent thinking, he will be victorious this time. Yet he always falls short and the cycle continues. The only way to escape from the wheel is to die. Instead of arguing, fighting, shaming oneself, can he yield to a dream that fulfills what he is trying to do? Yes. Man deeply desires to get even with so-and-so, but can he instead see it is his reflection, and from his understanding, can he dream an entirely new conversation? An entirely new situation that is fulfilling? Can man stop feeling that he is losing something by yielding to a new dream? Can he see that death and resurrection are the greatest gifts he has? To die to limitations is to gain in the resurrection. If this art is practiced in the mind, man will find himself dying daily to what he once called his safety. He will see that he does not have to cope with his limitations. He does not have to fight his way out. He will stop feeling after his fears and become indifferent about them, for they are his creation and has no power over him. Whenever he desires, he can die to what he thinks of so-and-so, what he thinks of himself, and see how they would love to see him, how he would love to see himself. Knowing it is his dream, and he is the dreamer, he can completely die to his current limitations and feelings and become and feel to what was once only a dream. Knowing it is his dream, he has full confidence that if he changes himself, he will see the change in his dream. He can detach himself at any time from his reflection and feel what he wants to feel, see what he wants to see, and hear what he wants to hear. Slight alterations of the inner self breed mixed results. The dreamer must change completely. The dreamer does not think his dreaming is fantasy, but it is actual reality, a reality in which he is in complete control. These dreams are not off distant realities to the dreamer in hopes he might one day realize. No, to the dreamer, his dreams are happening now. Accepting that they are happening now is the resurrection. If man truly dies to his limitations, he will not have to fight his way out. To him, the mental activity is happening now, and the now requires death of the limiting now. You trade one now, an outer reality, for another now, the inner reality. Man usually does not trade. He wants to hold on to the limitations just in case, and hope for the desired reality to come. But this is not change, and there's no one to change but self. But the key word there is change. True change requires death. When man sees he is the dreamer who has the power of death and resurrection, ideas of shame, violence, and fear become obstacles, not safety. These limiting thoughts belong to those who are unaware life is a reflection. They see an opposition instead of themselves. They will toil and wrestle with it until they see themselves. The dreamer will stop seeing opposition and will see that this reflection only shames him because he shames himself. The dreamer does not experience love because he has not dreamt himself to the state of being absolutely loved. The dreamer does not experience what he wants because he does not dream what he wants. The dreamer stops reacting to his world and starts acting within. The dreamer realizes no one can harm him unless he himself allows it. The dreamer is unafraid of his power and exercising lovingly upon himself and then naturally upon others. The dreamer knows all is his, and if he was hungry, he would not tell anyone. Psalm 50:12. If he desired an outcome, he would give himself the outcome, and to the dreamer, that is fact. The dreamer can make Satan's prey and kings bow. The dreamer abandons limitations and turns towards his desires and gives to himself fully and shamelessly. The dreamer will always dream beyond what his limitations dictate. You are the dreamer, and this is your dream. Assume this position. Thank you for listening.